The Golden Horde civilization is built around mobility, tempo, and constant pressure, rewarding players who can control the map and convert early initiative into powerful mid-game timing attacks. In this guide, I'm going to show you how to play the core Golden Horde opener, which is a fast Keshik Torgut start that focuses on early map control and efficient raiding, building up to this H3 timing with their unique H-up called the Muscovy Yasak. This is powerful because it allows you to get a lot of extra ranged armor and allows you to apply pressure early, disrupt your opponent's economy, and then hit that timing attack. We'll go through how to play the opener, how to manage your units, which units to go for, and I will also provide you guys with a build order in the description. So let's first off go through the technology tree of the Golden Horde. It's quite a unique civilization and is nothing like the Mongol counterpart. Many things have changed. It ages up in a building, kind of like the House of Wisdom for the Abbasid. Also, the Gurs don't move. In general, the buildings don't move at all. So it's a unique civilization in its entirety. The way you play Golden Horde is very much focused on its heavy cab, its unique units, and the stockyards that it has access to. Stockyards are basically your farms, but what it is actually is 4 sheep gathered by villagers with no walk time, which is incredibly powerful because walk time is one of the biggest sort of things that you want to always try to optimize in this game. Having no walk time makes the stockyards very, very good. Still, it's a good idea to play for map resources, but when you get to that castle age, start to transition. The unique units as well for the civilization are Karash. Karash is kind of like a meta in the sense that it will give you a 1-1 defense buff to all of the units around it, which can be upgraded later in the castle age with this technology called Battlefield Salvage, which gives you +2/+2 and improves the HP of the Karash. They also produce quite quickly at 20 seconds. Then you have the Golden Tent units, which are Batukan. This is your Khan unit that buffs up units around it with 10, 20, and 30% weapon damage. And then you have Torguts, which is essentially just a discounted Keshik with half the damage. It's like 10 damage or something. You have also these edicts. You spawn in with 2 edicts and then you can later purchase the other ones with stone. Just go for the defensive one and then in the late game maybe go for the stockyard edict. You also get these roost tributes, which are basically men-at-arms. They cost stone, and that stone cost is decreased later on as you make more units and produce more production buildings, etc. As for the H-ups themselves, what you want to be going for is going to be Khan and Torguts into Muscovy Yasak into Yam Network Trade. Those are kind of like the most meta place to go for. Yet there's still also room to play the other ones. Building cards overall is a good one to go for if you want to play hybrid maps or if you just want to get sort of a quick response to somebody spear rushing you. You don't have to. You can still just build the archer range yourself, but it's a way to play it. Relic Ovus is a way to play for the late game as well, as you'll be getting a lot more stone this way, and then that can potentially speed up the process of getting the reinforcement technologies, allowing you to produce more units for free. And then, of course, stone armies is also a way to spend that stone on unique units like Keshiks, Trebs, Kipchak archers, and Torguts. So you have unique fortified outpost as well, which is your tower, essentially, your outpost. It costs twice as much, and that's going to be 50 stone and 150 wood. And it's decent. It's not the best, but it's quite good as your game progresses and you get more and more of them. And they also apply the edict, defensive edict to your units around it. So if you can kind of get them forward on the map and you can get them out on the map where you might be fighting as well, that's great. And that's also a good idea to combine that with just in general eating deer and boar. Build these fortified outposts out there. You'll have more vision. Your units will be tankier, and you can garrison your villas inside. As for the unique Gur upgrades, you have, of course, the standards, but then you don't have horticulture. You have rotation grazing and the tier 3 upgrade here, which is overgrazing. This just makes your stockyards gather sheep faster. Then you have stone gathering improvements here, which are over offerings and ceremony, which is a 30% every single time here. And it's not too expensive either at 350 and 750 resources. Let me think about if there's anything else here that I would like to go through. There are more unique upgrades which you can go through yourself. You also have Kipchak, but they're not too good right now. Again, the civilization went through a lot of different, what will you say, a lot of different balance changes. So it's a civilization that kinda is undergoing a identity shift, feels like every month. So right now, I'm going to show you a pretty standard way to play it that I believe is always going to be probably close to the best way to play it. The Golden Horde is a civilization that often gets spear rushed, and that's because you will always have an exposed oval. You can do two things when your civilization gets spear rushed. Either you make a defensive fortified outpost, which means you need to gather wood and build your oval first, then gather the wood for it. This can be a good idea if you have a resource cluster like this, because you'll also be defending your gold this way. If you have your stone and gold far away from each other, what I recommend that you do is just to sack the oval, and that means that you just let them burn it. A lot of the times people will invest 4 or 5 spears to taking out your oval. What you can then do is you can just go straight feudal, and you can either build an outpost during your age up, or you go into archers in the feudal age and rebuild your ovals, kind of like if you were playing French and you lost gold and now you retake gold. So let's get into the build order. As usual, it's linked in the description below, so you can check out all the steps there. Here I'm playing versus a spear rush civilization, so I'm just gonna play it out here. It's versus a bot, so there's not really too much stuff. This is just gonna be the build order in its essence, and then we'll take a look at a real game afterwards. So what I'm doing is I am rallying onto sheep until I have 7 on sheep, and I have this one guy over here. He's building an oval, and he's building the golden tent, and then he's going to build a gur on the gold. Your 8th villager here is going to go onto the gold as well, so you have a 7-2 split. 7 on food, 2 on gold. So it looks like this. Now he's going to the gur. I just got 8 here on food, so I'm going to take one of these guys, and then I'm going to send him over to gold. So now I have 7 on food and 2 on gold here. This will give me a perfect age-up time on sheep. I recommend that you don't go on deer opener, by the way, with a civ. It's too slow if you want to go for H2 at any point, because like, it's just going to slow you down a lot. So play sheep openers and then go into deer later on in the game. Then you're going to be rallying onto food for now. Rally onto food until you can go into H2, and you're going to be clicking Khan and Torguds from your golden tent. So just keep rallying onto the food until you reach about 250. With a good sort of spawn and everything and low walk time, you'll be aging up at 251. Sometimes you might reach 255, or maybe you reach 3 minutes. Try to not go beyond 3 minutes. Then you're going to be aging up. What I recommend you do here is you make sure that you gather a little bit of extra food here. So I didn't actually move my villagers until about 10 seconds later from my age up, because I need 100 food to be able to produce my next batch of villagers. That's a very, very important detail here, because you can easily get some idle time here, which would ruin the whole point of having the double production, because you get villagers faster. So once I've made sure that I've got my next batch of villagers, what I'll do is I'll keep my 2 villagers on gold. I'm going to then have 8 villagers on wood, and one of those villagers in late age up here, just before you reach feudal, will go to the stone and build a novo. So I will have 8 on wood. I'm going to pull another one here in a moment. There we go. So now 8 on wood. I'm going to gather from the straggler tree, then I'm going to build a gur. The gur is your universal drop-off point here. I'm going to then start rallying onto food again, because I'll need a lot of food for both Keshiks and Torgus and the Khan. So I'm just going to rally food for now. Then at about 425, I'm going to send my village out to my stone. If it's stone that's a bit further away, then I might go earlier. So I'm now stacking wood. I need 150 for the oval and another 150 for the stable. Now I'm going to be going out to the stone here. I went arguably a few seconds too late. So now I'm going to build a stable. I'm going to build an oval. I'm going to queue up Batukan and Torguds. So go Batukan first, then go into Torguds after. The stable will be up about the time when you have enough gold. You need 160 gold to produce Keshiks. And once I have my Torguds, Keshiks, and Khan out, I'm going to go for the deer pack with 5 villagers and then build an outpost there. So the Khan is out now. This guy's very good. He's going to buff your units up around him with a lot of extra damage. Then I'm going to produce Keshiks here. I'm going to do a little drop off here. Produce the Keshiks. So now I have Khan, Keshiks, and Torguds in queue. It takes a whole minute to produce the Keshiks, so they will be out the latest. When I then feel like I'm secure, I'm not being pressured, or if I have my units out and I've now secured the situation, I will then move my villagers out for the deer pack, and then I'm going to gather from deer, as it's a faster gathering food source and we want to buff up our income and make a lot of units. So that's kind of the strategy here, and that's also the sort of end of the opener. And now I will show you a real game where you aim for that castle age timing with some units. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a fun one because there are no names in this game here. We both have a hidden name. So, but yeah, this is going to be the first game. We're playing Golden Horde against Malians. And it is on a rocky river as well. So on this map, the food is quite far out and towards the middle. It's a very good map for playing aggression. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that build that we just went through. We're going to have the same opening here, so I'll just skip briefly past it. I'm just going to build this over. Notice how far the distance is between these two things. The gold and the stone is very far away from each other. If I got spear rushed here, now up against Malians, it's not going to happen. But if I got spear rushed, then I would sack this stone here. And just get the gold, go straight feudal, rebuild the Ovu in the feudal age. And then I will scout my opponent, just make sure nothing crazy is happening here. And then just go feudal age, just as I just showed you. Yeah, not really too much else to say here. Other than we are just scouting, getting some sheep. And then we're going to try to click up to feudal age here at the fastest possible time. So now I've also found my deer pack. This is where I want to go once I've got a safer situation. Then I'm going to drop off my sheep. And then I'm going to be aging up here in a second. So you can see I got the gold now coming in. And then I'm going to go Khan and Torguds. So this was a little bit later age up. And that's because of this longer time between the gold and the stone. And so that means that the gold villager had a lot longer to go before he could start gathering gold. Hence the little food float, sorry. So there's some variations there, and it matters a lot. Alright, so now I'm going to build my Gur. I have my 8 on wood. I'm scouting my opponent. I want to figure out how is his base layout. I can kind of infer that his gold is going to be somewhere over here, because he does not have a gold on the other side of his base. So what I'm aiming for here is to secure my deer and then deny his second pit mine. So here in a moment, I'll be up to the feudal age. I've already placed my villager here on the oval. I'm going to build that instantly. He's going pro scouts, which is something we can kind of tell that the fact that he's got a mill and he's got a stable, but it's not 100% sure. He could still be going for cows and he could just be harassing a bit. So then we're building a stable, and in a moment we'll remember to queue Batsukan, the Mal. There we are. And then he's going to start harassing me on my gold. And here I'll just use my scout to defend, and then once I have my Khan out here, he'll be defending as well. And then I can continue gathering gold, getting my Keshiks and Torguds in queue. So now I have doubled Ovu, I have Keshik and Torgud, and I'm going to move out with my villagers. I am expecting him to have more units out here, but I'm pretty confident that I can deal with those in time to deal with the build the fortified outpost. So here comes some more warrior scouts. I'm not going to run back home. I'm just going to wait for my heavy cav to come out and then defend together with the villagers here. So a little bit of fighting, and he eventually doesn't want to lose his warrior scouts. He could have gotten a villager kill here, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world. Perhaps a bit too risky to go out. Could have waited 10 seconds, and then I could have gotten my heavy cav to defend me 100%, and then I wouldn't have lost any villagers. So. Okay, so now we're going to build another fortified outpost because we want to be very aggressive, and so that means I don't want to be having any issues with my gold being harassed. I also want to find his second pit mine, and what I'm going to do here strategy-wise is I'm just going to keep making units until I force him to make a lot of units. Take the map, the boar and the deer, and then I'm going to hit an H3 timing. So I'm going to start aging up around 11-12 minutes. It'll take about 2 minutes. And then that's going to give me a very, very good timing to attack him with and go for a dive. So you will have seen something similar if you watched EGC and any of Vortex's Golden Horde games. He uses a very similar timing. So it is a very meta-oriented style of play. Where we make units, we force our opponent to make units, and then we go straight for our civ bonus. And our civ bonus is that extra ranged armor, and our units automatically being upgraded. Okay, so now we are torching the pit mine. This is instant value for us, very, very good. We're also taking down some houses, and this will force him to make More houses, there's good value overall. It also forces him to make a lot of units, because if he doesn't, and he just goes Castle Age or something, then I can just attack him and get a lot of free damage that way. So, we've gotten a blacksmith, we've gotten an archer range, because we saw he had Donsos. So we're gonna make about 12 archers. We've also put a lot more villas to gold now, because we want to make some upgrades. We want to get our Keshiks. Now Keshiks just took out the boar here, and we pulled 5 villas, and we're going to build a fortified outpost here and another gur, and then start getting the boar income. So we get some more value. Take out the houses. And now we are set with ranged armor. We've got the fortified outpost here. And so now we can start to think about how do we want to approach this. We can kind of see that he's making a lot of units, but we really want him to commit. So we're going to take out some scouts here, make a few more units, and then we're going to start going H3. The moment you go H3 and you want to do it, you just pull your whole wood line and then you go to berries or something. You just need to not gather any more wood. You can leave like 2 or 3 there maybe. So we pressure a lot here. We've also got survival techniques now. Arguably a bit late, because we already have been on this deer pack for a while. But I think it's definitely important if you go on the boar. We take this boar as well, as in the Castle Age. We would like to expand up here and get the outpost edict as well. So we can get a second boar, which is very nice. We can build an outpost here, and then we can get this edict that we talked about, the defensive aura, which is going to give 10% extra HP on all units around the fortified outposts. So they're very, very powerful actually to build in front of your opponent's base. So that's kind of the idea behind killing the boar here. I'm also getting wheelbarrow now, and then I'm almost ready to go H3. So I just cancel my Keshiks. We're about 11:30 in, and then I'm gonna get my my Castle Age going. It's gonna take a long time. What is incredibly important when you play this style of play is attack. Right? You cannot just go back and sit in your base, because your opponent will feel safe enough to go Castle Age themselves. What you want to do is make them just overinvest into units, because it's going to make your H3 timing a lot more potent. So give him the impression that you're not Hing up, and then H up behind it. Look at how many units he has now. It's a good bit. He's actually going to continue to make a lot of units, as you may see here in our God Vision. And what we're going to do is we're going to make men-at-arms. Men-at-arms are very, very good for this civilization, together with Karash, together with the Muscovy Yasak, H3, and the upgrades, of course. And this is just a very, very powerful timing here that we're aiming for. So we can see he really is making a lot. He just 22 Donsos, 13 Javelins. It's not something I want to play Feudal Age against by any means, because these units are incredible for defending. I want to have a clear tech advantage. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ranged attack, more Keshiks. I'm going to build 2 barracks out here. And the barracks are built kind of in the middle, sort of a half proxy. Proxy meaning close to the enemy. And so essentially, this will allow me to get some men-at-arms out quite quickly. That can then go and help me doing my push. This will allow me to stay in the fight for a lot longer when I have these melee infantry, heavy melee infantry units to deal with this Donsos. So now we're up to H3. Instantly, you'll see the upgrades here over on the right side. I'm going to get Archer upgrade. I'm going to get Keshik upgrade. I'm going to queue up Men-at-Arms. And then I'm also... what was the last thing? I'm going to get that second barrack, and then I'm just going to produce Men-at-Arms out of this. It's a bit too slow to also get Karash right now, although I could probably fit in one. They're only 20 seconds. Second ranged armor, also a great idea here, although you already now have 7 ranged armor on your heavy cav. Keshiks will also get 7 once they get to Castle Age upgrades. And so we will pressure now. Of course, we don't want to run straight into a big army here, so let's put on full vision. This is not something we can fight. We need to get all of our units upgraded before we can engage. We also want to get a couple men-at-arms out. Here I will start a monastery or prayer tent. And then just start attacking here. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to notice he's aging up to H3. And that's going to be my go time, basically. We have a lot of archers here. They're killing the Donsos. They're upgraded. All the Keshiks are upgraded. All the Torguts are upgraded. Second range armor is coming through. He's almost H3. I'm going to split my Keshiks now to attack the left side. And some to be in the front together with these men-at-arms that are coming in here. Then I'm going to be killing villagers. I'm going to be A-moving with my archers to kill his Donsos. And the javelins I'm not going to worry too much about right now. So right now, we have equal army value, but we have a tech advantage. And he's aging up as well, and this is kind of when he will be the weakest in this game. The disparity between our power is going to be the greatest between the H3 and H2 here. So our attack is happening. We're doing some good damage. We're killing villagers. 23 of them. The game is over. He's got his Mansa Javelineers, but it doesn't matter anymore because we have too many heavy, fully upgraded units inside of his base. And yeah, just remember to send units out into the corners where he might have villagers, and then you can get your dub this way. That's kind of what I would call the perfect game when you play Golden Horde. There's a lot more to the civilization, but this will be enough to get you guys started. And this is kind of the way I would play Golden Horde in most of my matches as well. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the memberships and coaching. See you guys.
Yoki kana.